first? How did somebody... I just saw, as soon as I started, I just saw somebody say first in the chat section. Like, the first loaded as my live stream UI loaded on my phone. How did that happen? What did they like actually manage to? Did they actually manage to click on the video and then comment before my phone was able to load the live stream from my end? How did they do that? How did that happen? I'm not joking. Does anyone know? Well, what? I don't understand how the fuck they did that. Unless that was some sort of holdover from a previous stream, I genuinely have no idea. Ooh, we are triggered today, boys. I am omega triggered right now. Do I look a little bit scruffy? I took a little nap. If I look a little scruffy, it's because I napped. You're too slow. You're too slow. Yeah, you know how it is. How come you're triggered? Whew, well, I'll share that story with you shortly. Let's wait for people to pile in, huh? What are we, a minute into streaming? You know, normally I do a 10-minute, at least a 10-minute pre-stream. Colby, thank you for the $2, comrade. Any cute boys in here? At least one. You. Unless you're not a boy, in which case, yeah. Not you.
Tell them it'll catch up on site. If not, I'll host it in a sec.
Yeah, okay. It'll catch up on site. Don't worry, you guys. Rip John Lewis? Yeah, Rip John Lewis. Oh, God damn it. Is there any water left in my water bottle? Just barely. I'm a thirsty boy. Any more Crowder videos? Spencer Walker, the issue with Crowder is that he's a stupid, dumb fuck. He's stupid as fuck. Thank you, Mythaldo. That's the main issue. Steven Crowder is dumb as fuck. It's not interesting. I'm a bit late. Why are we doing phone streams? I am moving my studio. When do you think we'll get the setup back? Every time I am asked that, I delay it another 5 days. Where's Lizard and the baby? I'm afraid they will not be accompanying us this stream. Very sorry. Why is the site not working? It's been 2.5 minutes. Shut up.
Just refresh. You guys are such babies.
Babies. You're all such babies. Such babies. You heard about the Nazi monument? You mean the one to George Washington? The first Nazi? No, what are we talking about? Let us see the room. Suck my dick. We're going to do whatever the fuck I want. What animes do you like? Do you like One Piece? I have a My Anime list under Irish Laddie that lists the anime that I like, but it's horribly outdated. I've only just started reading One Piece. I'm like 80 chapters in, so you know, like 5% of the way through. And I'm enjoying it so far. It finally picked up, I think. We finally got to Nami's backstory in One Piece, and I think that's the first time this story has actually felt like really good to me. There's a Nazi war memorial in Canada that got defaced, and now it's being investigated as a hate crime. Cool, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. Monument to an SS division in Canada? Yeah, naturally. Who's dumber, Crowder, Conservative Hype House, or AJW? Conservative Hype House, because they don't even monetize their content. That's the real... Listen, being a conservative is stupid enough on its own, okay? But not making money off your nonsense, that is the real intellectual failure. Man, we have so much to talk about today. I'll get into that soon. Quick reminder, as always, that if you donate to me right now, there's no guarantee I'll be able to read that donation because I'll be rambling and the donations only stream on my screen for just like a minute, you know? Unless it's like a really big dono, in which case it stays on my screen longer, but you know. While I rant, and then later we'll do every donation, okay? All right? All right. Your channel is missing a much-needed join option? Yeah, we'll see. I make enough money, okay? Mods are asking you to join mod chat? Fuck mods. Debate with counterpoints and police when? I'll get around to it. What do you think of Cat Black, if you know of her? I think I don't know. I feel like Cat Black and I would probably disagree on not too much if we had a conversation with each other, but I feel like we have very different interests. Or I want to do what I do, and I think Cat Black just wants to like thirst post. Just like post pictures of like firefighters and with like the splash emoji. Would you okay with sharing how much you make? I'm curious. I make $100 a year off of streaming. Lucian says hello, hyena.
Who?
Lucian, I don't know.
Hi.
They say hi. Thoughts on Dick Masterson? I don't know. The person seems to be adjacent to a lot of Nazis. It's kind of weird. You know? It's not weird at all. It's very common these days. All right, listen up. Are you ready for it? I'm triggered as fuck today. Do you know why?
Do I?
Yes. After years, I have finally committed a significant abrasion on the surface of my lenses. I am not happy, folks. In the stupidest way, too. Listen, modern day glasses, lenses are really, really tough. Like, they're really, really tough. Back in the day, it's very easy to scratch these things. You know, like you like drop them and they get scratched. Nowadays, it's pretty tough too because there's this protective lining that they put on the glass that is usually really, really robust. And if you get a minor scratch, it's not a big deal. I got something worse than a scratch, though. I got something far worse than a fucking scratch, comrades. Listen up. Hear my tale. Hear my pain. Excuse me. I ate a big meal. Hear my pain, okay? I was eating at a restaurant, bravely, valiantly sacrificing my health and safety for a nice burger, okay? So I can stop eating canned soup every single fucking day, okay? And we went there. I was wearing the mask. I wore the mask while eating. I pressed the mask up against my mouth and squeezed the burger through the fibers in the front so I only got the thinnest drips of oil, you know? And and it was delicious and I had a great time. You know, I'm very responsible. And then, on my way to the fucking car afterwards, I saw a little bitty, like a little smudge smear. A little, like, it looked like a scratch, but it was like a smear because it was like white. You know what I mean? Sometimes this happens, like when you're eating, you know, like if a little bit of like food gets on a fingernail and you like, you know, you get like a tiny bit of something, sauce, whatever. Okay. So I clean it with my shirt. Does nothing. Fixes nothing. Okay. So I really grit down, okay? I really grit down with my fucking shirt. You know, I really rub at it. And it starts to get bigger. And I think, what the fuck is this? What is it? Is this like an oil stain? Is it like a opaque oil stain? I've never seen that before. Okay. So I rub it harder. And what it turns out I'm rubbing off is that lining on the back of my glasses. I don't know how this happened, but somehow a scratch scratched the lining on the underside of my glasses. That protective, I don't know what it is, like some sort of enamel or whatever. And I rubbed off a chunk of it, and now there is just a permanently blurry section of my glasses in the upper left quadrant of my right lens. And I have no idea. Can you see that? Can you see that right here? I have no idea what the... Can you see that? The little blur? See that shit? I'm real angry. These are dark times, friends. These are dark times. It's like a permanent smudge. Why? Why? Both of my lenses are like that? Not all of us can live the life of degeneracy that you live, okay? Both of my lenses are like... Oh, yeah, sure. Do you just walk around with your ass shit? With your shitty ass all the time? Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, dude. My ass just constantly coated in shit. Thank you, brave man, for sharing with me your pain, okay? But I do not sympathize with you, all right? Whatever dejected life of misery and suffering you live is not one that is meant for me, okay? Why don't you just get eyes that work? Listen, we're working on it. I'm terrified of LASIK surgery, okay? I have heard horror stories. We're not going down that road, okay? We are not going down that road. Whew. But I do know the road we are going down, folks. And now we transition into the actual reason I'm live streaming right now, okay? Are you ready for it? What are we going to do about all this goddamn fascism. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about that? What are we going to do? It's really weird. Seems to be a lot of fascism happening these days. Now, I'll tell you what I'm scared of personally, okay? Right now, at this moment, in Portland, unmarked, unnamed federal agents, accountable only to the Trump administration, have been deployed against the wishes of Portland's mayor and Oregon's governor to black bag peaceful protesters. Now, some of those protesters weren't peaceful, admittedly. Some of them, I imagine, got a little bit rowdy. A lot of them, however, were peaceful protesters from the reports we have right now, and these reports are not very reliable because, again, these people operate under the cover of darkness. But from what we know right now, it seems to be that protesters are being thrown into unmarked vans, driven around, having personal identification taken of them. I think I heard that they're having their fingerprints taken as well, and then they're being dumped out. Now, I don't want to be hyperbolic here. This is literally what happens before people get shot in their sleep. If you, like, historically, if you want to look at the progression of the development of authoritarian societies and the development of secret police, the first step to meaningfully crushing political dissent is to build portfolios on everyone who you consider an enemy of the state, and then, when you have the legal power to do so, or at least the social mandate, you can begin imprisoning or executing them. Until then, right now, we probably can't do that. That's probably not something we can do at this point in time. Don't think they could get away with that right now. Until then, you record them, you track them, you intimidate them. But I'm not actually as scared of them as I am of something else. Now, those federal agents are, of course, servants of the state, and the state is the most powerful entity within our borders. The United States of America is probably the most powerful entity across any set of borders. But right now, there is an ACLU lawsuit which has been levied against, of course, the federal government, with regards to the deployment of these unmarked federal officers, and in all likelihood, the ACLU is probably going to win, because to my knowledge, and I'm not a lawyer, but to my knowledge, what is happening is deeply, deeply illegal and unconstitutional. What bothers me is not so much the existence of these federal agents as it is the people who are supporting the actions of these federal agents. Because right now, every motherfucker online who called themselves a libertarian, a skeptic, and an anti-authoritarian is jerking themselves raw about how based and epic it is that the federal government is finally rounding up these hooligans. Ian Miles Chong has just openly endorsed fascism. Tim Pool, liberal Tim Pool, said, and I quote, this is like what they did in V for Vendetta when they blackbagged those protesters. But in that movie, it was the bad guys doing it. It's funny, the guy who makes his moral arguments by comparing politics to Marvel films can't understand the parallel when it's dragging its sodden asshole across his face. He thought it was funny. He did. He thought it was a joke to him. I'm not entirely sure what Steven Crowder's take on this is. I sincerely doubt that he's condemning it. Ben Shapiro, libertarian Ben Shapiro, was out there on Twitter saying how this is not real fascism. Count Dankula, to my knowledge, has not commented on this. Styx Hexenhammer is praising it. Count Dankula has almost certainly talked about this. I just haven't seen his commentary. I don't follow him on Twitter. Sargon of Akkad does not currently have an active Twitter account that is known. He does have a Twitter account that is kind of like on the down low, because he's banned from Twitter, of course. And he is openly praising it. He is talking about how it's about time those people got rounded up. And if I recall correctly, he said anyone who associates with Antifa should be preemptively arrested. So it's really funny how all these people who made millions of dollars talking about how the authoritarian SJWs are here to take away your freedoms have now literally thrown themselves behind behind the arm of the state in an injunction against freedom of speech in its actual real world practical use, which as it turns out is not making YouTube videos about how it's censorship for video games imported from Japan to have less cleavage for 14-year-old characters, and it's actually more about protesters organizing against the unjustness of government action. Man, what do we do about this? What do we do about this? It's really difficult. It's really difficult, I think, to talk about this issue because, as I've said many times in this channel, the ability to engage in civil discourse with your opponents is predicated on the assumption that you, A, share the same basic axiomatic values, like you want to make life better for people. Like if a person doesn't want that, then it's pretty difficult to reason with them. And also that they are capable of engaging with the faculties of reason. And these people don't. They don't have either of those things. So reasoning with them isn't really an option. The open marketplace of ideas is not going to save us this time. At least not with regards to direct engagement. I want to be perfectly clear, just so we all know where the table is set right now. Most of the people watching this right now are left-leaning. I'd be willing to bet that. And the majority of you are American, or at the very least in an English-speaking country. Canada, Australia, Wales, England, Ireland, and Scotland. Probably about 70 to 80% of you. So I want to be perfectly clear, just, it's a matter of generality. If you were in the United States right now, as a left-leaning person, your home was broken into in the middle of the night, your loved ones were black-bagged, and you were shot in the back of the head, and your corpse was dumped into your lawn. And afterwards, after maybe 6 days of silence, the federal government reports that you resisted during a no-knock warrant that they had received for your location following allegations of suspicious political activity, i.e., if you were secret policed to death. They would celebrate it. These people, Tim Pool, Sargon, they would go on and they would make videos defending what happened to you. Whether or not there was actually a warrant is irrelevant. The extent of your crimes, irrelevant. The degree of probable cause, irrelevant. To them, the only goal and the only reasonable outcome is your death. They would have pulled the trigger if they could have. There is no depth to their depravity. For them, suffering is the point. I understand that when I talk like this, I sound a little like it's like an Alex Jones rant, like the globalists, they're the Satan, the globalists, the Satanists, the pedophiles. There's nothing they won't do. I understand there's a degree of lunacy kind of associated with these very heavy moral claims, but I stand by them. I stand by them because I'm right. So I'm going to be a little charitable to our opposition here, and I'm going to explain what the world looks like from their perspective, okay? So let's think about it, okay? Let's really think. What's going on in the mind of the average American neo-fascist? And I say neo-fascist here because there's a very difference in the degree of faith and, commitment present in the common American fascist today and the fascist of yesteryear. We don't have brown shirts anymore, at least not the way we used to. It's not quite the same. There's a different attitude we take towards the propagation of fascism, and I want to talk to you about it. This is what the modern fascist looks like. The modern fascist, generally speaking, is either online or offline. If they're offline, then very rarely is this individual knowingly engaging in malicious behavior. The average offline fascist is somebody who probably consumes a lot of Fox News, probably consumes a lot of Republican talk radio, and through the osmosis of common right-wing talking points, has adopted a worldview where America's burning, the illegal immigrants are stealing their jobs, everything glorious about their society is being torn apart, and the only thing that they can do to fix it is to vote for Donald Trump. Now, unfortunately, that message on itself does not a fascist make. A person is not made a fascist simply by believing their society needs defending by voting for a political candidate. That's what we thought about Bernie Sanders. After all, we believe, of course, ourselves, that America is heading down a dark road and that certain political candidates are desirable above others to bring things back to their at least to a more reasonable, point. That does not a fascist make. The issue is that Donald Trump, by way of being a fascist himself and by frequently engaging in authoritarian apologia, necessitates a constant defense of his actions, which, if compiled into a person's mind, will eventually build a portfolio of justified fascism. If you are hearing every day in and day out, about the stuff Trump does, and then, alongside it, hearing defenses of the things that Trump does as a necessary condition of bringing him to a seat of power so he can defend this country from its enemies, you will unfortunately be put in a position where the only real way you can express your political values is through a defense of fascism. But I'm not as concerned with the offline types because I think most of them are just brain-rotten boomers who are essentially intellectually comatose following the overconsumption of conservative propaganda. What I'm mostly concerned about is the online types because they're interesting. Most of the online types, the online fascists, speak in the language of the culture war. They talk about cancel culture. They talk about how freedom of speech is being subverted by the SJWs and the beta males and the soy boys. And their language is so powerful, it's actually been adopted by mainstream media, which is why we're talking about cancel culture in the mainstream media. Did anyone else think that's a little weird? Cancel culture 5 years ago was an obscure, always online term referring to YouTubers and their fan bases. Cancel culture was what happened when a bunch of people get together and realize that a porn artist drew an anime character who's 16 in the original like anime, but 18 in the Redux. So it's a question of that was cancel culture originally, and now Fox News is talking about the cancel culture mob. Well, that's because the language of the culture war is very modular and very easy to adopt in other political situations. So, what is the online fascist? The online fascist is the following person. I will describe every one of them in perfect detail. The online fascist is a man, overwhelmingly. The online fascist is a person who once loosely held progressive-leaning beliefs, but has since abandoned those because those beliefs have been heavily associated in their mind with a bunch of fuddy-duddy, no-fun, do-gooder, cancel culture-obsessed social justice warriors. And eventually, the characterization of progressivism as being associated with SJWs and cancel culture morphs into a characterization of progressivism being associated with people who are interested in destroying the things this individual loves. What?
Plus they're white.
Plus they're white. That's actually not true. In these online forums, there's actually a huge overlap between the Hindu fascists under Modi and other groups like that.
Makes sense,
Yeah, the rhetoric is very
mostly
similar.
in regards to American stuff.
Well, of course, with regards to American stuff. Plus, you're white. And it's gone. The train of thought is gone.
I'm sorry.
Completely gone.
I love you.
Completely gone. What was I saying? What on earth was I saying? Ah, yes. The Initial characterization of progressivism as being associated with unfun SJWs eventually translate into association between progressivism and the death of things that the person is interested in. I'll give you an example. Have you seen the Quarterings channel? The Quarterings channel is dedicated to the myth that an SJW mob behind the scenes is destroying all media by putting black people in it, and women, and sometimes even gay and trans people. That's essentially the entire channel. It's extraordinary, the degree to which they're able to milk content from that premise. The Quartering gets about 30 million video views every single month. Why? How could anyone watch that over and over again? It's the same video day in and day out. The Quartering gets more video views per month, or I think about the same number of video views per month as like they're in like the Steven Crowder tier. Like they're very, very watched. Why? Why do people watch this? Well, the answer is simple. If you're a loser, I mean like a massive fucking loser, like you have no individual success or identity, it becomes necessary for you to, create stories which justify and explain your position, your station in life. Everyone does this. Everyone does this. If you're a loser of any political affiliation, you do this. But the right has always had a trend towards conspiracism. So in their case, the myth, the narrative of victimization leads them to believe that everything to which they were rightly entitled is being taken away from them by essentially reverse bigots. Women who hate men, black people who hate white people, trans people who hate cis people, and that they have orchestrated a sort of media conspiracy to deny the sort of hegemonic identity, the white man, everything to which they are entitled. And what naturally follows from this conspiracy theory, pushed early on in the Gamergate days by everyone, from the Quartering to Medicare to Geeks and Gamers to Sargon, everyone, all these people, is an association between progressivism and a threat to white men, or to men, or to white people in general. It's, very modular, as I said. And that belief leads invariably to fascism. That is the easiest through line to fascist beliefs imaginable. So what do these people think when they see the BLM protesters? Well, in their mind, racism does not exist, not real institutional systemic racism, but racism does exist, if at all, against white people because of stuff like affirmative action, because people are more sensitive when they talk about black issues than they do talk about white issues, because you can call people pasty and it makes for a good joke on daytime radio, but if you call a black person darky, then you're going to lose your job. And, unfortunately, nearly I exited out the fucking streaming window there. Jesus Christ, the phone UI. And unfortunately, because they don't really understand anything, they are led to believe that they are actually the victims in sort of like a changing media narrative. And BLM, well, BLM is just another example of the woke mob trying to rip rights from men. When the federal police enter Portland and they start blackbagging people, well, that's great, because society was on the cusp of kowtowing to these insane Antifa rioters as well. It's fantastic. When Trump removes protections from transgender people medically for no reason, with absolutely no approval or input whatsoever from doctors, it's fantastic. Because the trans woke mob has been silencing legitimate criticism against their abusive practices for years now, and Trump is the only one brave enough to take a stand. Everything is framed in the culture war. It doesn't actually matter whether you're right or wrong. It doesn't actually matter whether harm is done or harm is not done, whether things are provable or empirical. The only thing that matters to them is that their side, that is to say the side that's not attacking them in their mind, is winning. There are a lot of people who believe this, who I genuinely believe are good people, who have just been sucked into an extraordinarily vicious media conspiracy. All these right-leaning figures who called themselves liberals and classical liberals and libertarians defending secret police, A lot of these people are probably redeemable, but a lot of them are probably also ideologically and morally bankrupt. And as I said in my last stream, moving forward for this country will mean the cultural obliteration of these people. That's the only thing we can really hope to do. The cultural obliteration of people who fear their identity and their power and their privilege are being taken away through the fight for equal rights. The cultural obliteration of people who cling to the Confederate flag, the cultural obliteration of people who believe that feminism means the death of Western society. When we're done with this election, no matter who wins, and I do hope it's Biden, obviously, if you've watched my channel, whoever wins, the real work will not be getting Biden into the White House. The real work will be building a population with predilections towards making sure we don't get a Trump again. Now, if Biden wins in 2020, we won't get a Trump again because Trump is ailing as it is. I don't think he's going to be around and functional for 4 or 5 more years. But there are other Trumps. There are many other Trumps. And after Trump loses, if Trump does lose, there is going to be a scramble in the Republican Party to find another fascist capable of carrying on the intellectual tendencies of the current administration. I've heard the Pentagon has plans if Trump doesn't leave office peacefully. I will not deny it. If Trump and his administration are stupid enough to attempt an actual, real, live coup with their actual, real human physical bodies, I would take enormous satisfaction in seeing the military restitute that unlawful action. Because I actually do care about law and order. It's funny, all these conservatives say they care about law and order, and then they're defending the pretty much every unlawful thing imaginable. Remember all those law and order conservatives who defended that guy who sped down a freeway and killed that one person, that one protester? Remember they ran through a barricade and did a hit and run. See all the conservatives now who talk about law and order, but now they're defending unlawful secret police? It's as though law and order was never actually what they were defending. Law and order, after all, is politically ambivalent, at least in concept. When you defend law and order, you defend law and order against yourself as well, but they don't. They don't want law and order for themselves. You cannot build laws which will be implemented fairly and equally by both us and fascists. Because fascists don't care about law and order. They care about supremacy, Bugatti. Didn't I have lip balm over here? I swear to God I threw lip balm over here before I... Hold on. Oh, there it is. I wasn't even sitting on it. I just didn't see it. Whoop. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've been in a little bit of a bad mood today because seeing all these people who would have just 2 years ago considered themselves, probably even internally, liberals defending secret police and black bagging, well, it's made me a little bit upset. So, fuck it. Q&A. I'm just reading donos, baby. That's what we did the last couple of streams, didn't we? Who knows what's going to happen. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I love you all so much. Yeah, baby. Sorry for any donations that I missed. As I said before, they don't stay up on my screen very soon. Yep. Slamber with the $10. Could intersectional fascism be a thing in the future? Yes. The beginning of this was Milo Yiannopoulos, I think, in the modern, cultural discourse. Fascists adopting people outside the hegemonic identity as an arms reach out. We see Candace Owens, doing this pretty effectively these days as well. Yeah, Ted Cruz might turn into a fucking full-on fascist soon as well, if he isn't already. Larry H. with the incredibly kind $20. Thoughts on false flag attacks as a hypothetical strategy? Even if you could somehow carry out a false flag attack, the unfortunate issue is that even if you succeed with 100 of them, one revealed false flag will delegitimize anything your movement ever does until the end of time. It's just not a very effective tactic unless you have the power and reach to manufacture like media narratives around it. So the U.S. government can like commit false flags, I think, with relative impunity, but I don't think that like individuals can do the same thing. How do you feel about the concept of bi-curiosity? It's fine. People should explore their sexual identities. You can't like just, not everyone just knows off the bat whether they're attracted to a certain type of people. How can you actually defend secret, unaccountable police? Like how? I mean, if you're a fascist, they like a lot of wacky stuff, my dude. Nick Finnan with the $10. Could you explain your reasoning behind why you think the U.S. should move to a parliamentary system? I agree, but I'm curious, and how we might do that. I don't know. We would never be able to do that. The presidency is literally written into the Constitution. We will literally never have a parliamentary system. However, I just think it would go a little bit longer. I like political coalitions. I think it would make it easier for third parties to succeed. I don't know. It seems like a more democratic system. Thoughts on he, him, lesbians? I don't get it myself, but if whatever you believe in love, that's valid, okay? I'll never challenge people's identities and preferences, just the language seems a little weird. Do you feel the legalization of marijuana is going in the U.S.? Do you think if Biden gets elected, it could be legalized federally? Biden said that he does not want to legalize it federally, but we might be able to push for it anyway. Like, it's not necessarily just him. If Trump refused to leave office, would the military support him? I do not believe so. The Pentagon is an efficient organization that has certain priorities and ultimately is sworn to the Constitution of the United States, not towards Trump. If the Pentagon was ever to support a coup of the United States, it would not be from such a stupid individual. What do you think of India banning TikTok? Listen, wait a little bit to ban TikTok. I need to get more followers there first. Let me hit 100K, okay? Conservatives love law and order, like with Roger Stone and the war criminals Trump pardoned. True! Farsquire with the incredibly kind $20. What can I do to help when my military career prevents me from speaking out / protesting openly? Longtime fan, congrats on your channel's growth. I don't know. Talk with your soldiers in arms. Try to suss out their opinions. Have meaningful conversations. As a servant of the state, you're very limited in your ability to make meaningful change, but that doesn't mean you can't make change. Michelle Hilton, there is a very real possibility of civil war sometime in the near future. Buy guns, join the SRA, stay strong, stay close to your loved ones. What do you think about shows like My 600-Pound Life and Family by the Ton? I've never really seen them, but those shows where it's just like, let's just get a bunch of fat people together and do games to see if they can avoid eating like the entire deep fryer content, that always seemed a little weird to me, like a little exploitative. Thank you, Unchained Mellors. Yeah. Maybe Freakadelic, I'll have to see. Sorry, I gotta run through these quickly. Is there anything more to look forward to in the world? Yes, Andrew Rosenthal. The entirety of human history has been experienced by people who are constantly on the cusp of death and despair, starvation, plague, and disease. Just because we currently are facing some troubled times does not mean life has given out from under us, okay? Any tips for combating fascist brain melt and de-radicalizing them? Have conversations with them. Fuck, I don't know. Thoughts the fact that quartering used your tweets and said it was a good point? Yeah, quartering will say that it's a good point to combat black Nazism, but not white Nazism. I mean, I don't know. He's a weird dude. Brandon today with the incredibly kind $20 Australian. Thoughts on how COVID may lead to a rise in xenophobia and the rise of far-right populism in the coming years? Yeah, we basically like have shut down our borders probably for like a year at least on account of COVID. I don't know. What would be funny is if all the other countries end up becoming more xenophobic to Americans because we always carry the stigma of our disease, you know? Ethan Askey, as for the Joe Rogan show, I'd love to see Sam Cedar go on there. I think he'd do an incredible job. What do you think about the new book written by Trump's niece? I haven't read it. I mean, I can't read all the dumb shit that comes out of that administration. I have no idea. Sorry. I love you. Sorry. It's tough out here, okay? 10 fully automated luxury LGBT plus transhuman space income with a 10 Canadian. Can we talk about the madness that is QAnon, the NYPD union guy endorsing it multiple times? Yeah. I talked about that last stream. So as not to double down. But I talked about that last stream. Pretty wacky stuff. Have you watched The Promised Neverland? Yes! Ray, I watched The Promised Neverland, at least season 1. I want to read the manga as well. I'm reading One Piece right now, so that'll take me a bit. Really been enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. Very wacky. The screams of despair from those children, mwah, they do so much better in that anime than most. Most anime screams are like, ah! You know?
Coming.
Or, ah! Or like that, you know? But in Promised Neverland, they really commit to what it sounds like when children want to die. I respect that artistically. Hey, babe, can I give you in a cut of today's stream profits if you get me more water?
I just don't want to move. Can I do it soon?
Yes.
I'm dealing with Discord drama.
There you go. I love you. All right, we're back. We back. Jivan Mamen with the incredibly kind $20. Why do you think media types like Joy Ann Reid are flipping to Medicare for All, keep doing the work? I don't know. Joy is a weird one. I think a lot of it, honestly, just might be that because it's no longer a Biden versus Sanders thing, she can now support Medicare for All without implicitly supporting Sanders and attacking Biden. That's my opinion. It's something that she can do now in the absence of. Oh, is YMS in chat? Sorry, the phone UI for this is fucking dog shit. I would have to search through every single. Listen, if YMS is in chat, that's cool as hell. Hey, what's up, Adam? Yep, okay. Hey, Adam.
Who?
Adam.
Where?
YMS in.
Oh, in YouTube chat.
Yeah, YouTube
okay.
chat. Yeah, Adam's too cool to
Adam's
join the site
behind
chat.
Yeah.
We gotta run. Whoa. Yeah, I think Germany's parliamentary system is pretty good and reliable. From what I've seen of it, it seems pretty nice. Nicholas Kristen, thank you so much for the $10. How can I deconstruct horseshoe theory? I did a video on horseshoe theory a long time ago in response to a John Doyle video. I would suggest you look at that. But I would have to, it'd take quite a while for me to go into it past that. I don't know, dude. Dealing with tankies? Maybe it is real. Show us the kitty? Sorry, the kitty's not here today. PHP, Celerock with 125 PHP. Thoughts on voting for Trump in favor of accelerationism? No. Voting for Trump has emboldened the right, not the left. This would not turn people towards leftism. In fact, it would make it impossible to do activism because Trump would be blackbagging all our protests. How can you see him literally deploying unmarked federal police to like kidnap our protesters and think like, well, if we had 4 more years of this, maybe like no. The state is capable of doing quite a bit of damage to our ability to organize. Balthazar with $10. How do we combat the hey look, a fascist clown is doing fascist clown things effect the media seems to have in this clickbait ad revenue news system? How do you stop the platform of useless garbo? Can't. That's a capitalism thing, baby. Can't change that. Not without changing capitalism. But that's like a long step, That's just not something that's going to be changed. You can't reform that, I don't think. There's no way to implement like a government like threshold for the quality of the content a news organization produces. Patrick Horseman seems like the U.S. government saw V for Vendetta's government and thought, yes, this is good. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's about where we're at right now. Jeff Hunter with the $20. Say hi, give me a shout out. Hello, Jeff Hunter. So happy to see you there. One really weird thing about these phone streams is that all the donations come from the YouTube and not so much from the site chat. Normally, it's opposite. I wonder why that is. I don't actually know. Is it because site chat knows I'm watching YouTube chat more and vice versa? I genuinely don't know. Wait, will the chat that I look at more just be the chat that donates to me? If I look at both chats, will more of you donate to me? Wait, is that how it works? Because I only get 70% of super chats. I get 100% of site donate. Wait, hold on. Okay, listen. I'm activating. Hold on. I'm activating my OmniVision. I can now see both chats simultaneously. All donations I receive will be read, and albeit very quickly. Oh, that hurts my eyes. Jesus. Okay. All right. We're sorry.
Do you want my computer?
No, that's okay.
Actually, I don't think I can see donuts.
I actually can read both chats.
Oh, okay.
Creamsicle, thank you for the $10. Hey, it's Creamsicle from DP. Just wondering, do you think Creamsicle is a good girl? Thanks for streaming, and I hope to see you on the show again soon. Yeah, wait.
Who?
Do I think Creamsicle is a good girl?
Also, that sounds cringe.
Creamsicle? What sounds like a porn character? Wait.
Oh, is it the squirrel? There's like a peaches and cream porn comic that's like a squirrel.
Are we talking about porn?
I think they're literally just asking for like validation that they're a good girl. That's my guess.
Okay, because when you say DP, I think Drunken Peasants Podcast, and I'm really racking my brain right now to think if I've done a porno with DPP. But they would have said DPP. Listen up, Creamsicle. I think you're cool as fuck, okay? Don't let anyone, especially my confusion, lead you to believe otherwise. Thank you so much. Absolutely. I love streaming. Wait, it says hope to see you on the show again soon. Wait, what show?
I don't know.
What My brain is fucked right now. Listen, I have a really bad memory, okay? You could literally donate anything to me. And it would confuse me, okay?
Drunken peasant.
The Drunken Peasants? But did I Drunken Peasants? Was somebody called Creamsicle?
Creamsicle. Yeah, I don't know.
I have a very bad memory, okay? Listen, don't fuck with me. Do you think the left needs to create a distinct aesthetic language to attract more outsiders/fence sitters? No, actually, I think the left needs to do the opposite. Ditch the fucking red. Ditch the fucking swastikas, Jesus. Ditch the fucking hammer and sickle. We need to look more like average, individual, normal-ass folks. Is there any point to convo? Curious, man. I don't know, dude. Conversations in real life are worthless, okay? Fuck people. Do a Muxus YouTube search and let me know what you think. I can't do one while I'm doing phone streams. I'm sure they're super cool. Yeah, it's almost like I'm getting a million fucking donos and they all disappear in 20 seconds. What's up?
My take is that red's a bad color.
Red's a bad color?
Yeah.
Why are you dumb?
Red and blue are bad. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules.
Idiot take. Dumb. Idiot take. What is the role of a market in transitionary state? Why is that? Because I don't think we can abolish the profit motive until we've secured like meaningful workers' democracy. 40 IQ folks in my area are mulding over masks. Thoughts? They congregate on Facebook, post low-res anti-mask memes in impact font. I mean, have convos with them if you can, but honestly, just wait for them to die. I can't, like, we're literally in a plague. I don't know what this, like, I don't know what to say, dude. Like, we're literally in the middle of a fucking plague, and people are like, God, can you imagine? I swear, like, the people of the fucking 14th century were more fucking rational. At least the bird mask they wore, they stuffed fucking flowers in there because they thought the good smell of the flowers would protect them from the plague. That was more rational than these people who are just fucking abandoned in mass these days. I don't fucking know. Hey, Geronimo Roeder, thank you so much for the 50 euros. I switched to YouTube chat for no real reason. Do you get more money for site donos? Well, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful or nothing, but yes, I do. 30% of YouTube donos are taken by YouTube, whereas PayPal only takes like 3% variably of site donos. Bubble Bunny, thank you so much for the $5. Really happy to hear you're feeling more comfortable in your skin these days. Mary Jones, thanks for the 1,000 yen. Have you listened to the Robert Evans podcast, It Could Happen Here? Yep. It's a phenomenal podcast on how the next Civil War could happen and how it would look. Next Civil War could happen and how it would look. Yes, it's a wonderful podcast. I should do a stream on it sometime. Or like a video segment. Hey, Vosh, I'm a candidate for state rep and TikToker. I think you might be enabling crypto/quasi-fascism. Willing to discuss? I don't know how anyone could possibly make the argument that I'm enabling fascism. It's an interesting one. But if you want to talk about that and you have a compelling argument and I feel like it'd be a good convo, yeah, send me an email. We can set something up. You missed the latter bit of my last dono. Canadian attempted assassin of our Prime Minister this month, with apparently QAnon crazy. Yeah, I deliberately didn't read out that section of your last dono because I knew you would donate me a new one. Ha ha! Ha ha! So you would remind me. Yeah, I didn't hear about that. I've been pretty offline the past couple of days. I've just been spending my time on Twitter. What's your favorite anime, OP or ED? Anime EDs tend not to slap too hard. Michael, thank you so much for the 777. I really appreciate that, comrade. My favorite anime OP would probably be the first one from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Dude, that shit slapped. Geronimo Roeder, thank you so goddamn much for the $50 donation on the site chat as well. You know I wouldn't miss you, friendo. You are being incredibly kind. Watch me with the $5. When are you going to debate Mike from PA? He's been calling you a coward, saying he's DM'd you on Twitter. When the fuck did Mike from PA DM me? Mike from PA DM'd me on Twitter like 4 months ago, asking if I wanted to talk, and I said, I mean, we can, and they were like, eh. That's what I remember. Like, they haven't, like, challenged me, and I bet... I'm going to be honest. Mike from PA is legitimately one of the worst faith actors I've ever seen on the left, and I feel like platforming him might be doing material harm to our movement. Every individual who learns their leftism from Mike PA is a person who is either a weaker leftist or a more entrenched conservative. If you've ever watched the debates he's had with Destiny, he is legitimately, like, one of the worst. He is unbelievable. Do it. He's better than Destiny. No. Destiny is far more of a political ally than Mike from PA. Easily. Yeah. As it turns out, good liberals are better than the worst socialists. But yeah, I can debate him. I think it'd be fun. Ruben, thank you so much for the 5 New Zealand fake Australia dollars. I really appreciate those, comrade. Yeah, Sampar, Beau of the Fifth Column is sick as shit. I really like Beau of the Fifth Column. Beau of the Fifth Column is what I mean when I say we don't need to adopt specific or unique aesthetics. Beau of the Fifth Column just comes off like doing like a good old Southern boy thing, and he's been blowing the fuck up lately. He gets a huge amount of viewership, and he's a good man. I have a lot of respect for what he does and what he says. And his shit gives me hope, unironically. Thoughts on post-leftism or transhumanism? Big fan. Brown is not a real color, it's just dark orange, that's all. True! Brown is just dark orange. Open your fucking minds. Open your minds.
Brown is a mix of other colors.
The Amazing Jack, thank you so much for the $10. You should follow Robert Everins. He's an amazing journalist and podcast who did miniseries in American Police was good. Yeah, I can take a look at that. I do love following people. Taylor Wright with the incredibly kind $20. Saw you stream about beans the other day. Just wanted to shamelessly plug my art page where I draw unique bean stickers and give them to people. Insta at beansbyte. Keep up the amazing work. Wait, that sounds sick as hell. Just like bean stickers? Wait, that sounds rad. It's beans, like the way you'd spell beans, BYTAE. Go check that shit out because I can't right now.
Beans bitey?
Yeah, BYTIA, like bite. Yeah. I can't right now because of my phone stream, you know? Thank you so much, comrade. Love you too, Shizzlepex. Thank you so much for the $5. CJ Gavin, you're a really cool dude. Thank you for the $10, comrade. I really appreciate
also,
that.
Chat says they want Artemis plushies.
So noted. Can you get me some water? I'm thirsty. Also, like something to blow my nose.
Move!
I got a new mattress today.
So?
It was expensive. I love you too, Noah Procco. Very much so. Prism Brush with the incredibly kind $20. Word of advice to the audience, take a self-defense class / join a dojo. Just be careful where you go. A lot of martial arts groups in my areas are crazy conservative. Self-defense skills / mindsets are super important for leftists. Very true. Do not concede self-defense to the right. Don't give that to them. We deserve it too. What would you say to people who advocate for people to vote for Joe Jorgensen? I will be talking about that in a video segment. I'll be talking about Joe. What should happen if Trump wins in 2020? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Egotistic egg, I did not go to the protest. No, I'm not going outside. My job already gets me a lot of online attention. I am not putting myself anywhere near fucking opposition lines. Fuck that. Did I see Mounties are investigating the defamation of an SS memorial in Canada as a hate crime? Yeah, I saw that. We'll see how that goes. Canada's also on there, like a weird little pro-fascist arc. Thoughts on 3D printing / milling guns? Schwisky, that's illegal to have an unregistered firearm. Follow your conscience. Ryan Wallace with the incredibly kind $20. My guy, I found your channel, finally found a leftist community I really identify with. One question, when is your Discord opening? I didn't even know the Discord was closed right now. The Discord should be reopening soon, I think. I don't know why it's closed right now. We've been busy with a lot of stuff. We should be able to reopen it soon. I'm really happy you enjoy the community, comrade. That's how I feel about this place. The online left is a wacky place, my friend. Oscar C., I will be expanding the institutional racism doc to include a bunch of other subjects in the near future. Ally, thank you so much for the $5. Really happy to hear you're enjoying my content. Maybe wonderful. The Amazing Jack with the incredibly kind $10. Robert Evans is also the host of It Could Happen Here and Woman's War, both phenomenal podcasts. Yeah, I've heard. I'm very familiar with Robert Evans through the It Could Happen Here, which I need to rewatch so I can talk about it on stream. Ajax the $10. If we can only expect revolution to come from climate change, wouldn't a revolutionary government need to decommodify to an extent in response? Yes, Ajax, to an extent, absolutely. I'm very much in favor of the government seizure of energy, transportation, and other industries that have a very high threshold for carbon emissions. Ha! Non-authority. I'll keep that in mind, comrade. We'll make sure to reorganize the Discord colored names order as soon as possible. Joseph Gibson with the incredibly kind $10. Stop being a doomer. Texas will turn blue by 2024, and the GOP will have a hard time getting a president once Trump is out. Demographics are changing in favor of the left. You might be too optimistic, my friend. Mexicans tend to be pretty socially conservative. If the Republican Party ever learned to stop being as openly racist, I feel like they would have a really strong long-term marketing. A really, really strong long-term mark. Seriously, have you... Most Mexicans are Catholics. They tend to be pretty socially conservative. Ask them about gay marriage, you know? It's just because Republicans fucking hate black and brown people, you know? If they ever form like a race-neutral fascist coalition, then, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Wait, hold on 1 second. Oh, my fucking legs. Jesus Christ. What can you guys hear me when I'm over here? That the phone microphone doesn't have the same dampening as the one in my studio. Okay, we made it back. Sorry, it's actually, you know you're not young anymore. God, I'm 26. It's so cringy to say, you're not young anymore. But you're not very youthful anymore when the act of like sitting on the ground for long periods of time is actually slightly strenuous. Or maybe I just need to get back into working out. We'll see. Fucking mustache hair. How do other people with facial hair not just constantly pick mustaches out of their mouths? Emperor Swagatine, great name, with the 21 Canadian. Thank you so much, comrade. Interested in you clarifying your stance on protectionism, tacitly supporting the immobilization of the working class communities by Chinese transnational corporations doesn't seem like a win strategy. Protectionism and worker rights aren't associated with one another. I don't know why lefties believe this. The Gilded Age of the United States of America was one of the most brutal periods imaginable for the average American, middle class, worker. There was no middle class back then, really, but the average American worker. But we were also fiercely protectionist. Protectionism doesn't really read on to any, type of social progressivism. What protectionism does do, though, is make us less economically relevant. Internationally, it means that we have less power to change the behavior of other countries. Domestically, it increases the price of goods and doesn't really do anything for it. It's just not... Protectionism is useful strategically, I think, for developing countries for a wide variety of reasons. But thank you so much, babe.
Yeah.
Whoop. But for the U.S., I just don't think so. My humble opinion. Calder with the $10. True. And Waifu Sprite with the $10. Thank you. Didn't even type anything. My goodness. Baja California State Congress just ruled gay marriage illegal. Yeah, there we go. MRX MGS. Yeah, the 50 pesos. Yeah, Baja California just fuck gay people. What are you gonna do? Those wacky Hispanics. All cops are cops, the $5. Any feasible options for places to emigrate if Trump wins and one is maybe scared for her life? I don't know. Scandinavian countries are always a good bet. Isn't New Zealand a really nice place to chill? I hear New Zealand's pretty good. Nice! No Justice, best of luck in your future content, comrade. Thank you so much for the £5. Love you too, Firdos Yoldashev. What are your thoughts on Chomsky? I'm a massive fan of Chomsky. All right. There we go. There we go. The Lone Grifter, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. She just pulled out the globalist argument, just asked she believes in the JQ. Jesus Christ. Funny how every debate with a conservative invariably ends up with, like, rehashing anti-Nazi talking points, huh? Wacky that. Egotistic egg with the incredibly kind... Oh.
Oh.
Ooh, beans. Ooh.
Clean bean.
Doesn't it seem like we kind of do the fascist things of saying conservatives / white supremacists are simultaneously weak and insecure and easy to wreck, but are one of the biggest threats to the U.S.? This is my... So I get this sometimes. This is my line. Individually, fascists are very weak people on an emotional and intellectual level. Collectively, that weakness is what allows them to adhere to one another, to groupthink, and to become strong. That's my argument. Fascism... collectively, like as a nationwide thing, will always be a massive threat. I don't ever vary in that respect. Whereas individually, these people tend to be quite unimpressive in my experience, you know? Semi-joking, but think BDSM masochist protesters clad in black latex saying harder daddy when they are shot would mess with the police? Probably not.
Bitch who flashed her pussy, they left.
I feel like the police probably get off on beating fags. Probably. I would have to, you know, guess. Other than Sam Harris / Jordan Peterson, engaging with IDW would definitely boost trust and maybe unity with progressives / liberals. Yeah, I would love to. The issue is the IDW seems exclusively interested in platforming reactionary arguments. In your opinion, which culture is the best food? Dude, Mediterranean food? I don't know. I mean, nowadays everything does fusion of everything else, so... Yeah, I like Zizek. Oh, 18 Shadeen. When I distinguish between political and economic accelerationism, strikes are economic accelerationism. Blocking trains, that's economic accelerationism. Voting for fascists, that's political accelerationism. The issue is when you vote for the wrong people to accelerate, like the political state of affairs, you're also making it less likely future protests will succeed. So I am very much in favor of economic accelerationism, but...
Did you read Sanders' donation?
No?
Okay.
I'm trying.
He asked.
What did he ask? What?
Oh, he asked if you read his donation.
Oh. Wait, Bread Warrior, the tier 3 sub, thank you. If you had to pick between Foucault and Chomsky, who would it be? Chomsky, but by a narrow margin. I have great respect for both of them. Zan, I love you. I hope you know that. Would you vote for a presidential candidate who never wears a suit? If I thought they had a chance at winning, then yeah, sure. Doubt they would with their clothing choices, but yeah. Cameron Zalutka with the incredibly kind $10. Debate J-Reg? I don't think J-Reg does debates, my friend, but I would love to privately talk with J-Reg at some point. Because he can't drop the mask publicly. Do you think providing robot farmers to rural communities for food and profit will open minds to democratic ownership? And thoughts on the new Star Wars? I haven't seen the newest Star Wars, but I will say this. Giving small rural communities the ability to economically empower themselves, I think usually leans towards people being more progressive and more left-leaning in those communities. It's usually fear and material deprivation that gets the poor on the side of the Republicans, you know? The fear that it's the globalists or the immigrants who are destroying their communities, you know? But if you fix their communities, you fix that through line to their fear. Jedi Draken, thank you so much for the $20. Hey Vosh, only found your content within the past month, enjoyed every bit of it. Keep fighting the good fight. Trying my best, comrade. Thank you so much. You all are being so kind. I actually feel like a little bit of a hack right now. I'm just sitting here and you people are donating the fuck out of me. I love you. I love doing that. I mean, I love the Q&A. And the Q&A where I get paid for every question is even better. I hope I don't come off like a giant asshole just sitting here like this. You know? Daniel 84, I'm a New Zealander. Elections coming up this year. Our right-wing party is in shambles. Oh, that's fucking rad. I've heard good things about New Zealand, you know? I feel like I could live there.
I just got kitty tags from New Zealand.
Yeah, we got kitty tags from New Zealand. Oh, I gotta catch up. Oh, shit. Which Chomsky book is a much read? Easy, always. Easy. Manufactured Consent, easy, always. That's one of the most... Manufactured Consent, in my opinion, is one of the most important books written in the past 100 years. Emma Rosa, thank you so much for the 10 Canadian. I'm really, really sorry about missing your last donation, comrade. I'd love for you to cover the Wet'suwet'en and our indigenous issues more. Yeah, I want to as well. The main issue is just like limited interest. Most of my audience doesn't know much. The only indigenous content I've ever done that ever got a lot of interest was the one on all of like, what was it, Wisconsin? No,
Interview?
no, that got like no attention.
Oh.
No, it was the one where that. What was the state? Come on, what was the state, guys? Come on, come on. What was this? What was the state? Then Oklahoma. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When Oklahoma went like half native land, like people freaked out at that one. But that's great, you know. But I want to talk about it more. The Roman fasces' origins with regards to fascism was an axe bundle of sticks that are meant to be collective. One stick breaks, but bundled together they are strong. Yeah, calling them weak individually but strong collectively is literally their fucking motto. Yeah. Who are the two leftist YouTubers you mentioned a few streams ago? Forgot to check them out. Mindforge Medicals. You mean people who I was recommending? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. I don't know in what context. Adam Flores with the 25 bucks. Thank you so much. Hey Vosh, what is the Dark Enlightenment in its tenets? Is it the exact opposite of the Enlightenment era, or is it another veiled excuse for obscure ideas of fascism? It's just throwing a pretentious, like, veneer of intellectualism over fascist ideas. The Dark Enlightenment is basically just like, what if I told you equality doesn't work? What if I told you that women are dumb? What if I told you 1350? But it's all masked in this. The Dark Enlightenment thing is essentially just like anti-Enlightenment values, which in these days usually trends with fascism, being posited as like this pseudo occultish, like intellectual, you know, delivery. It's pretty dumb. No, Sam Parr, you can absolutely create leftist content on places like Instagram Live as long as the leftist content is also, mindless fluff. You gotta trend towards people's interests. Thought with the 10 bucks. What leftist theory have you read and what do you recommend? I've read all leftist theory. Honestly, if you want to get started, I would suggest reading Rules for Radicals. It's not hard theory, it's more commentary. But I would suggest you read it because I find it very instructive in getting people set in the right direction for meaningfully advocating for like progressive and lefty values. I'm trying so hard to keep up with donos, but Artemy is currently trying to eat his collar. Maybe, Oatpoon. Maybe. Thank you for the 5. Really appreciate that. What kinks do you think are degenerate and what ones do you think are sexy? So happy. I think all kinks and in fact all sex is degenerate. Sorry. Anyone who has sex, all sexers are degenerate. Sorry. Now, if you like being degenerate, that's fine. I stand up for degenerates. I'm just saying, let's not have any pretenses here to presume the moral purity of one group of kinksters over another, okay? And Aminorki, thank you so much for the 666. I definitely support my job being taken over by robots as a farmer. Well, there you go, comrade. We have the mandate of the people right there. I hope it works out. Automation can do us a lot of good. What's your take on wealth cap, or do you feel taxing extreme wealth is better? Probably not a wealth cap. I feel like wealth caps aren't as useful. Like, why not just like do incredibly high taxation, you know? You want to have people to have material incentives in a capitalist society to keep making more money in a high tax system. If you just implement a wealth cap, then there aren't going to be people trying to make more money after they hit a certain point, which means you can't tax them off that. There are arguments for both ways. Either would be fine. I would support either, you know. HDVH with the incredibly kind 10 bucks. This is my anecdotal experience, but I'm a second generation Mexican, and a lot of my cousins seem to be less Catholic and gayer than the previous generation. Maybe we have a chance there. Yeah, because the Republican Party isn't courting Mexicans, which means you guys are being pulled into the broader and more progressive wing of the Democrat. Can you stop that?
Stop what?
It's jingling.
They can't hear?
Yes, they absolutely can.
Can you hear the jingling? I don't think they can.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can.
Stop shit.
You're in the stream room right now. You're lucky. You're blessed to see the fucking god-tier political commentary developing live.
We're just doing a Q&A.
Madfordite, I do enjoy Metro 2033 quite a bit. I'm just not a Borderlands fan. If I could have any POTUS you wanted right now, who would it be and why? Dude, Bernie Sanders. Come on. If you put anyone too outlandish in there, nobody would, like, listen to them. Do you think there's a possibility of another world war where we're the baddies? That could happen if Trump gets reelected? I don't think so. I think world wars are kind of outdated. There won't be any more world wars, only immediate nuclear annihilation. What do you think about building dual power in the US? Big fan. Big, I'd say very uncringe, in my personal opinion.
Yay.
Why do you... Ooh, very gay. Why do you think the right has such an obsession with degeneracy? The same reason the Nazis did. Obsessing over moral purity as a concept is a good way of distinguishing the right types of people from the wrong types of people. Ellie Navy, thank you so much for the tier 4 sub. Jesus. I work for my township 6:30 to 4 Monday to Friday at 15 an hour and probably will for the foreseeable future, so take this. Also, let me make music for you. Ellie Navy, don't fucking talk about your underpaid ass and then give me fucking $40. Jesus Christ, Ellie. You want to make me feel guilty? I'm not. I'm feeling especially miserly today, okay? Thank you for the $40. I look forward to the additional payment next month. You piece of shit. Seriously though, good luck with your work, comrade. No promises on making music for me though. I have a musically inclined friend who I generally defer to. Thank you so much, seriously. Yeah, Findon Vosh, that's what we're doing. Whew, my lower back hurts from this. I'll push through. I gotta survive. Adam Flores, thank you so much for the $20. How would you address a worker who puts in more labor than the plurality of workers in a center of work and asks for more in compensation of libsoc society? Just an interesting question. Open correction on this. Not everyone puts in the same amount of work, even in a properly developed socialist or worker co-op or whatever society. However, I think there are plenty of incentives and investments that can be made. Keep in mind, in a worker cooperative, a place owned by the workers, everyone there has a material interest in making sure their coworkers are working as hard as possible. If I'm working a wage slave job at a fucking restaurant, I don't give a shit if my fucking coworkers are putting in work. Why the fuck would I care if I'm a fucking waiter and my other waiters are putting in extra work? What meaning is that to me? I get my paycheck either way. In a worker co-op society, you set up a system of social incentives for everyone to work harder. And ideally what that would mean is that workplaces would independently choose to prioritize and reward people who work harder. Whereas in today's society right now, harder workers don't get fucking shit, okay? You get promoted if you kiss management ass for 4 years and they think you're not threatening enough to the people above them, okay? There is no correlation between hard work and promotions right now in our fucking society. Unless you work in an incredibly cutthroat or meaningful industry, you know? Sorry, Patrick Miller, I love you. Good luck in joining the SRA, Brianne Kimball. Love you, buddy, all right? Hope it works out. Yeah, we do not have a meritocracy right now. Shame. I would die peacefully if you played Animal Crossing. Please, I'd buy you a Switch. Sorry, you'll have to have Hyena do that. I have no interest in Animal Crossing. It looks like the most boring game in the fucking world to me.
Why can't you do it just for
Nope.
games, though?
D. Smitty, thank you so much for the $10.
Character.
Keep hope alive. You made me a character so you could get extra shit in your thing, not for me.
So?
I do try to keep hope alive, D. Smitty. Thank you. My streams keep my hope alive. Why do you place a large emphasis on demographic sociology versus the work of people like Goffman? Thanks. Maybe I just forget my education right now. Svelte, send me an email. Who the fuck is Goffman? Help me out here, okay? I can't Google while I'm on the phone stream, all right? Send me an email. Maybe I could diversify my recommendations a little bit. Eric Smith with the incredibly kind $20. Look up Neckbeard Death Camp. I can't look up anything right now, but I'll try to remember in the future. I'm afraid I don't know what that is. Is that like a musician? The ones you recommended were leftist debaters. Oh, leftist debaters who I like. Yeah. So here are leftist debatey types that I personally. Oh, nice, Kevin. Fuck yeah, SRA. Hell yeah. How do you start a business without initial capital? You can't, Patrick Miller, unless you get a grant from a bank or the government.
And usually people take out loans.
Or you take out a loan, sure, but
yeah. But
you have to procure the capital somehow. Yeah. Isn't the SRA just a quick method of getting nabbed? Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard that. I think I've heard people saying that. I don't know if that's actually true. Starting OnlyFans, maybe one day, Cheech. What was I saying? God damn it! What was I saying? Somebody. What? Oh, the lefty debaters. That's right. So the people I'm looking at right now, these are people I've got my eyes on. Okay, in terms of lefty debaters, Jangles, Mouthy Infidel, Lance is getting up there. Lance is doing more debates from the Serfs. Yeah. Those are the for lefty debaters. I've got my eyes on
I
them.
mean, Zan's a really good debater.
Yeah, Zan's already big. Zan's
He's
getting like
big,
1,000 like concurrent viewers on his
Yeah.
streams. I don't think Zan's like a little content creator
No, but just
anymore.
you have your eye on.
Yeah. Of course, obviously Zan. I think Loner Box is doing really well as well. Looking forward to that. Yeah, Anarchy. Farming is a brutally difficult job. There is no denying that. I would know because I've seen other people complain about it.
Woo!
I don't fucking know myself. Streaming is really hard too, you know? Sorry. Tara Stoller with the incredibly kind 10 bucks. Hey Vosh, what are some good modern books for ANCOM theory? And do you have any reads to do a good job covering the differences between MLs and tankies? Tara Stoller, though I have read all theory, I generally defer questions on theory reading to Mr. Radical Reviewer, who does really, really good coverage and commentary on left-leaning theory and literature. I would strongly suggest you go check out that channel because you will find good answers to your questions there, guaranteed. Aaron Simmons, thank you so much for the $10, comrade. I really, really appreciate that. Mojar Ruthmos. Hey, Vosh, have you seen Peter Henning's 2.5-hour takedown of Sam Harris's awful take on the Leland protest? Peter's a criminology professor, and he explains how out of depth Sam Harris is in this topic. Mojar, can you please email that to me? Please. I want to listen to that while playing Warhammer once I get everything set up. Please, please, please send that to me. I want to listen to it, but I will forget if we're deferring only to my memory. You have to help me out here, okay? You have to help me out. What?
Is that clean?
What clean?
In the hamper?
The hamper's clean. Floor's dirty.
Okay.
Mr. Raj Williams, the 10 Canadian. Hey, Voosh, love your stuff. Is it worth to argue with people in a public forum if you believe you convert spectators to your way of thinking? Yep, that's what I do. That's the only thing that's worth doing.
Wow.
Hey, did you see the screenshots of the Trump messages on Twitter? They were the ones that you get for signing up on the app. I tweeted them at you. Wait, when you sign up on Twitter, you get a tweet from Trump? What?
Sign up on Trump's app.
On Trump's app. No, I haven't seen it.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Do you believe people who believe in QAnon will pass the Voight-Kampf test? I don't think people who believe in QAnon can pass any test. My personal opinion. How do I convince my 15-year-old conservative friends that they're wrong on basically everything? I don't know, dude. Watch my fucking videos. That's all I can really suggest. Kids are dumb. Kids are dumb. I don't know. I had conservative-leaning beliefs back when I was younger, too, but they weren't for any good goddamn reason. I just wanted to feel cool and, unique and individualist. Claire W., from what I have seen, the JREG's channel has changed, and I am happy with the changes. I don't know if it's because of me. I don't know if that's the case. If it is, if it isn't, I'm just happy with the direction that things have gone. Hope I can talk to JREG sometime. Yes, he's very cute.
Look at him.
Yes, he's adorable. He's inhumanly cute. Sweet Mochi, thanks to the $5. Really happy to hear you enjoy the content. Are there any conspiracy theories I believe in? I'm 50-50 on the government having killed Martin Luther King Jr. I'm 50-50 on that.
Definitely did.
Apart from that, I don't think I'm particularly conspiratorial. I'll take that. I think if you can guarantee the hesitant following IDWs who are sympathetic to the left that a coalition is not ruined by woke and Paul Golden. Yeah, our father in the green, I would love to be able to get along with IDW types. It's just every time I fucking pull up their shit, they're like hard right, Mars Rivers with the incredibly kind $10. Tips for stressed out service workers. I'm overwhelmed by having to serve Karen's coffee while it might be deadly. No, it's just horrible. I don't really have anything to say about it.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we just talked about this today. If you're in a service position, if you're in a service position right now and your life is being risked just to keep this facsimile of economy running, I don't know, it's pretty fucked up. Obviously, there are material tips for avoiding contraction of COVID-19 or SARS-CoV, but apart from that, I think that on maybe it would be good to talk with your boss and maybe see if there are any concessions that you and your other workers can get. Nah, even that could get you fired. I don't know. Take solidarity from those around you and try not to die. It's a really tough position. Finn Universe, I did a video called The Ultimate Guide to Praxis that I think covers that pretty well, and I suggest you take a look at that. I'm pretty proud of that video. A little on the long side, but then what do I do that isn't? Mr. Raj Williams, thank you so much for the 20 Canadian. Hey, Vosh, I spelt your name wrong last time. Don't worry, comrade. People do pronounce and spell my name wrong all the fucking time. David Henley, thank you so much for the $10. I am a massive proponent for net neutrality. Internet is a human right, as far as I'm concerned. Egotistic Egg with the $5. Do you think Corona and the BLM protests are moving people left? I think the BLM. I don't think the BLM protests are moving people left. I think the police response to the BLM protests are moving people left. I don't think COVID's moving people left. I think that the Trump's response to COVID is moving people left. It's the incompetence of our enemy more so than anything else.
Yeah.
Great content, but doesn't working hard a blue collar job also benefit your coworkers because of increased team efficiency bonus overall? Yeah, like it benefits the business. Being more efficient as like a wage slave doesn't benefit your coworkers at all. It benefits like the business.
Yeah, if you're efficient, they just make you do more stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, the more efficient you are, the more work that gets assigned to you. Generally speaking, the survival strategy for being a wagey cagey resident is just to like get through the workday. The incentive structure for like proper proper meritocracy is just not in place in most businesses. There are some capitalist businesses that exist right now that do find incentives, but many of them are toxic incentives, Like if your coworker doesn't do good work, that makes everyone else in the house work harder that day, but that's a toxic incentive. That's not incentivizing you to work harder. That's incentivizing everyone to pull the rope at the same, at the same pace so one person doesn't get blamed for dragging the whole crew down. Colby, thank you so much for the $5, comrade. Eric Simmons, the $10. I'm a new follower as a black socialist with ADHD like you. Just want to know where you stood on the importance of black women's existence. Wait, what a hot take do you think I'm going to drop you? Do you think I'm going to go like, well, I don't, like 50-50, like they could be here and not be here. No, I don't even know. It sounds virtue signaling to say, but fine. I'm glad black women exist. I don't know. This is
That's
good.
A weird question. It sounds like bait. Are you?
Is it bait? Wait, am I being baited right now? It's like, hey, listen, I appreciate your existence as much as the existence of any other gender and racial demographic. Also, lost my virginity to a black woman. Okay, so you're all carrying it out there. Thanks.
Why do you always have to make it weird?
Because it's funnier that way.
Is it?
I'm carrying the cringe burden.
Is it funnier chat or is it weird chat?
Don't answer that.
They're probably gonna say base.
Michelle, I appreciate the offer, but that's okay. I don't want to do any meetings up with fans or anything like that. Certainly not now.
We're dying.
Or maybe even after. Mackenzie Stevens, thank you so much for the $5. Happy to hear you're enjoying the content, comrade. Chad is saying funny and based, and also weird champing me. Based and weird champ. There we go.
I see more pale white faces than I do base.
Yeah. Seriously, how do co-ops work if you need a business owner to mainline the initial capital? What's wrong with boutique bourgeois? Getting into what's wrong with petite bourgeois is its own conversation. You don't need a business owner to mainline the... Wait, in a worker co-op, everyone is the business owner. Like, everyone owns the business. You collectively assemble the initial capital, and then you start the business. Trust me, worker co-ops are not lacking for business owners. They have, in fact, significantly more business owners than the traditionally owned current. We'll live with the $5. Can you shout out my saying air you? He's 4. Air you! My fucking dog. How you doing? My 4-year-old friend. I hope you're doing well. Linton Nick with the incredibly kind Thank Canadian. Do you think the ideology of Soakdems blinds them from acknowledging U.S. imperialism? Sometimes. I've met Soakdems who are very, very considerate to the effect that we have internationally, but it's always like an uphill battle because their solutions usually are very milquetoast. Thoughts on The Last of Us 2 drama, if any? There are legitimate criticisms of The Last of Us 2. But everyone just seemed mad that like a woman was muscular, and they kept calling that woman trans. It's really, really weird.
Little booby.
I really had the hots for a muscular lady back in high school. She was Polish. I did weightlifting class with her, and she wore an open back shirt one day during the weightlifting regiment section, and she would do lat pull downs, and her back muscles would ripple. High schooler. God, that was so hot. When I was in high school.
Wow.
What's your take on Attack on Titan? Attack on Titan, I think, is a very progressive and anti-fascist manga that gets misinterpreted by a lot of people who don't get the satire. The girl with the glass, the $5. Thank you. I'm a Latina leftist woman, and Bernie or Busters are risking me, you, and all our comrades' lives. It's so frustrating. It's true. Being a Bernie or Buster is a little bit like being a murderer. I would agree with that.
It's like being a genocidal, it's genocide.
Hey, Vosh, love your content, but do you think you will ever do a debunk of the race and IQ argument? Yeah. I have all the data on it. I've just been too lazy to organize it and do a video. I did the 1350 video. I did the video on 1350. I consider that topic thoroughly addressed. But yeah, the race and IQ one. All I can say right now, Sky Chess, thank you so much for the $5. All I can really say right now with regards to the race and IQ thing, basically, is that the plurality of academic evidence on the subject of the IQ differences between the races has not in any way, shape, or form determined that these differences are genetic, are many of them are genetic, are not intrinsically genetic in nature, intrinsically racialized and genetic in nature. And what's more, that many of the arguments race realists use are patently false. Generally, here's a good hint, guys. If we're talking about the validity of a scientific concept that can't be proved one way or the other, if one side is constantly using completely irrational arguments, that's a really good defense of your side. We can't prove that it's not in any way, shape, or form inherently genetic. That's not possible at this present moment. But we can prove the arguments they use to attempt to prove that it is inherently genetic are very, very bad. And that's kind of like And that's kind of like an argument in favor of our position when they fail to defend theirs. Rags to Radical with the tier 1 sub. I was one of 2 founders for an SRA chapter in my area several years ago. Nice. 100% support joining. There are quite a few tankies, so dilute them. It's important. There you go, folks. We need more libsoak members of the SRA. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Oh, and keep in mind, even if it was completely 100% beyond a pale of a doubt proven that there is an inherent genetic racial IQ difference, which again, there's no evidence for presently, even if that was proven, so what? You would then have to make a completely new set of arguments to justify any social policy based off that. Yeah, Sean's video on the bell curve talks about a lot of the IQ stuff, but not everything. There's more to talk about there. I mostly focus on the rhetoric. What counter-arguments can be used? Divine Iconoclast, thank you so much for the $10. Thoughts on Max Weber? My teacher sucked his dick while trash-talking Marx. Whoa! Max Weber was a very, very intelligent generalist. I think Max Weber's holistic perspective on sociological theory was really interesting and informative. But I would not take Max Weber's understanding of class over Marx's.
Are these dirty?
Anything that's in there is clean.
No, I just folded that.
If it was in the hamper, then it was clean. If it wasn't, it wasn't.
So your sweats are dirty. These?
Was it in there?
It was on the ground, but I'm just wondering if you wear them more than once.
Oh, I didn't wear them more than once, but I've worn them. Jakey Fakey, I'm not familiar with Gene Epstein's arguments in that respect. Emotional Meat, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. My pleasure, comrade. Financial Guru, unfortunately, revolutions are almost by their nature violent. So if a revolution were to happen in the U.S., I'm afraid it would be a rather bloody one.
Oh.
All right, hold on. Oh my God, it's been 90 minutes. Hold on, let me read these current super chats, and then I'm probably going to sign off. Recommend a book to me, please. Michelle, sorry. Read that quickly. Read 1984. It's a good book. I don't care if everyone else has read it. They haven't actually. They're only pretending to read it. They fucking read the Spark Notes after it was assigned to them in high school.
I never read 1984.
Thoughts on using theology to turn people left? A great idea, but it's not something I can do. It'd come across very cynical for me to attempt to do that. How to convince an ML friend to vote Biden. He thinks they're the same, and Biden would do the same thing in Portland compared to the Standing Rock. Idiot. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Whoa, listen up. There's a big difference between the U.S. government doing horrible things to indigenous people and doing horrible things to non-indigenous Americans. Okay, hold on. These are very, very different things. Listen, okay. There are thresholds of badness. Listen. Your average president will do terrible things to indigenous people and like bad things to regular Americans, okay? If you're willing to do terrible things to regular Americans, you're willing to genocide the indigenous people. It's like a scaling threshold of the acceptable level of badness that you're willing to commit against different demographics. You know what I mean? You can argue with that. That's totally true. Questionable take. Nah, if you're black bagging protesters in Portland, then you will tactically nuke reservations, okay? Yeah, that's my argument, okay? Listen, Standing Rock was fucking terrible, okay? But if you're black bagging American protesters, you're going to ICBM, indigenous reservations, okay? You will just nuke them, all right? You will turn all of them into glass. So there are scaling like thresholds here of badness. Still recommend Benjamin Boyce you could speak to? Maybe, yeah. I'd have to look more into their content. Michael Ashley with the incredibly kind $15. What is the difference between the recent actions of federal actions in Portland versus the tyranny of broken windows policing seen in policing these past decades? Well, broken windows policing has always been pretty tyrannical, but there's a big difference between actively like going out and arresting people for anything you can find and like black bagging protesters. The fact that these are federal agents, the fact that they don't have name tags, the fact that they're being thrown into unmarked vans, the fact that they're being ID'd and then dumped back on the streets, this is a very new and very dangerous additional tier.
They're gonna kill all of them.
Yeah. I'm not going outside. Fuck that.
No.
Levy Borg, thank you so much for the 59 kronar, comrade. Did you know in Australia the Liberal Party is the right conservative party? Yeah, Arthurin, because all liberals are conservatives. True. Socialist or bust, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Dinobot 2 with the 10 Canadian. If a socialist wants to use social democracy as a transition from capitalism to socialism, is it still accurate to call that person a social democrat? Well, it depends. Are you talking about their internal beliefs or are you talking about their policies? Like, for example, the policies of Bernie Sanders are social democracy, but I'm positive that motherfucker's red inside. So if I call him a socialist, what am I referring to? It really depends on the context of the conversation, I think. And Jason Sanderson with the $10. Hey, I'm an anarcho-communist from Manitoba, Canada. First got into left tube through non-compete. And Sean, what are your thoughts on Hakeem? I like his content, but he seems like a hardcore Stalinist. Everything I've watched from Hakeem gives me the impression that he is like 100% a tanky, and I don't respect those values. Essentially, that his goal is to mainline class analysis to the exclusion of everything else. To justify like authoritarianism as like a necessary step towards. I haven't watched all of Hakeem's content, and I'd be willing to like talk about it with him on stream. But the impression I've gotten from him is that he's just, yeah, it's just not my thing. I'm a libertarian socialist. Freedom is very important to me. You know, that means a lot to me. Okay, non-freedom is very cringe. Oh God, I'm finally able to lift my thighs off the ground. Holy shit, they're so sweaty. Oh God. I think Hakeem is a troll. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd make that claim. How are y'all doing today, folks? Are we feeling okay enough? If I end stream right now, are we all going to be okay? I'm serious. Can you answer me? We're living through some tough times right now. Please show me one successful black country. Yeah, the United States of America. Built by black folk and all its culture fucking run by black folk from the end of slavery till now, yeah. I'd say America is the most successful black country in my personal opinion. That'd be my argument right there. Oh, Dig-a-Pig with the incredibly kind $20. Hey, so I'm a mall cop currently on duty. And I just want to say ACAB and trans rights. We forgive you for your discretions. I actually, I used to be a security guard, so I get it, comrade. Also, hell yeah, ACAB and trans rights. But by the way, with regards to like the black country succeeding, give Africa 50 years, their economy is fucking exploding right now. Holy shit. The Belt and Road Initiative is probably going to help propel Africa, at least some African countries, to like an unbelievable state of like economic and cultural prosperity. So we'll wait and see. I mean, we pretty much like raped all of Africa for like 500 years. Like we got in there, you know. we really dug our nails in the dirt on Africa. The fact that Africa still exists, I think, is a testament to the genetic inferiority of white people, that we weren't even able to finish the job. Unbelievable. No, I'm kidding, of course. No, Africa is going to be skyrocketing soon. Ethiopia is booming low key. Well, the real difficulty isn't going to be the economic investment. The difficulty is going to be bringing the crime rates down. We see this right now too in places like China. China is industrializing rapidly. Why is China's crime rate low? Because they have an insanely extensive surveillance and totalitarian state infrastructure. That's the issue. The process of industrialization creates income inequality. Income inequality creates crime. That's facts. It's factual information. The CCP has dealt with it through a severe implementation of human rights abuses. Whereas in Africa, I mean, I would hope that they wouldn't go down that route. One of the big issues that Arab and African countries are going to have to deal with is that when European countries came into Africa, we drew the borders of Africa with regards to our territorial ownership, but not so much with regards to pre-existing cultural and ethnic and linguistic associations. Whereas the countries that exist right now in Europe the lines were largely meted out in accordance with the respective demographic interests of the people who live there, for the most part. There are differences, of course. In the Middle East and in Africa, cultures and tribes and communities that literally wanted to kill each other ended up getting forced into the same country for the purposes of like a Dutch or English or French colonialism, you know?
Is there genocide still going on? Like the Hutus
And
and the Tutsis and shit?
the Rwandan genocide?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Rwandan genocide is over, but I'm sure there's some other stuff going on in Africa right there.
Just feel like that went on for so long.
Yeah. Oh, you want to know something funny about the Rwandan genocide?
What?
Back during the colonial days, I forget the name of the different groups. It's the Tutsi and the other group.
Hutus and the Tutsis.
The Hutus. The Hutus were the ones who were oppressed under the colonial era. And after the colonial era ended, the Hutus were so fucking angry at the relative privilege the Tutsis had seen during the colonial era that they just up and killed over 500,000 of them. It was like a reverse racism, you know? It would be like the real version of if we ended slavery and like the black people were like, all right, now it's our time. And ended up like enslaving and killing like 20 million Americans. It's actually pretty crazy. Not very funny. Well, the argument that I would make there is that this would be an argument for why it's not okay to be hateful, even if you're a minority group. If for no other reason than because eventually the minority group might be in a position to institutionally affect their discriminatory behavior. You know? Oh yeah, the divisions were created by the Belgians. Yeah, this is all a product of colonialism. But anyway, yeah, it was pretty wacky. Can you talk about ISIS a bit? Kind of random, but... How do I respond to someone who calls the Uyghur genocide CIA propaganda? I don't know. You run away quickly. Don't argue with conspiracists. It's a fucking waste of time. I missed the little donut I did. What's your opinion on the theory behind it? I'm a fan of mutualism, I think, but I need to read more into it, Kyanite. I need to read more into post-capitalist theory. Hold on, wait. We have to finish these. Wait, hold on. Wait. Stop. Irish Polak, thank you so much for the incredibly kind $10, comrade. Ah. It's warm in here. I'm talking nonstop.
You want to get in the air?
Nah.
Also, there I have cleaned.
Thank you. Yeah. Talk to them. Talk.
Is there anything you guys want to know? I have been assigned to talk to you. We're getting a lot of new stuff soon. We're gonna get a new bed, so that's nice. Show cat. Artemie is outside. PP size. You guys should already know that. Are you not true fans? Favorite cheese? My favorite cheese is aged white cheddar. My favorite color is probably mint green. We have named the cat, but I'm not going to tell you the name yet because I'm afraid she'll die, you know? Hold a stream? I do have a stream. Yes, we asked our landlord, Dad. We're making it better, so she doesn't mind.
Okay, stop.
I don't like tea. I like cold, sweet tea. That's it.
Fuck, we gotta catch up on donos. I missed some from the site chat. God damn it! Summer solstice! Thank you for the $5. Do you think it's more likely the U.S. becomes a fascist state or balkanizes, assuming we have a societal collapse? Probably a fascist state. The federal government's pretty strong these days. Not much in the way of the fucking Confederate. Michael Ashley conducted targeted research is infinitely more useful for learning stuff for me than reading books one at a time. I bounce around topics too much, you know? I can't, if I'm just like reading a book sort of offhandedly, it's never enough, you know? What do you think about Canadian bilingualism, healthcare? Do you like Jagmeet Singh? I've heard good. Wait, if I remember correctly, I've heard good things about Jagmeet, but my memory's a little bit failing. I don't really know what to say about Canadian bilingualism and healthcare. I mean, your healthcare is way the fuck better than ours, and bilingualism is cool, right? I mean, multiple languages is pretty fucking cool. Billy Drillkill, thank you so much for the $10. Non-binary furry gang, rise up. True. What's my PP size? Oh, hello, YMS. Jagmeet is an NDP leader. I baited you with my ignorance. I knew that all along. YMS. Thank you so much, Adam from YMS. Happy to have you here, Adam from YMS. And Zayed El Dersani. What are your thoughts on the Ba'ath Party and the concept of pan-Arab nationalism in response to Western imperialism? I'm okay with pan-Arab nationalism as it's described in certain contexts because I do believe that the resistance against imperialism very often supersedes my personal discomfort with nationalism. I don't like nationalism as any kind of revolutionary force, but if the alternative is being constantly subject to the imperialist whims of the West, then I'm not a big fan of that either. As for the Ba'ath, I've heard a lot of criticism. I would need to look more into it. I don't want to say anything I'd later regret. All right, listen up, folks. God damn it. Hold on. Oh, we got one. We got a live one. Capone, fascism, it's 2020. The only fascists are people like you who torture innocent animals on a daily basis. They are harmless, yet you keep killing them. Hey, listen up, buddy. Just make sure to vote for Biden, because I'm pretty sure that a Trump America is going to have less regulations on the meat industry than a Biden America, okay? Listen, just... Whew. I was going to talk about pee-pee size. I literally have, like, dick pics out on the internet if you search for them, okay? It's not that hard. All right, listen up, folks. I love you all so much. Are we in a good emotional state to end the stream? Have we done enough aftercare? Are we good? Are we doing okay? Come on, everyone. Everyone together now. Are we all going to be okay? All right?
No.
Okay? I'll be streaming tomorrow. Show up tomorrow as well. I love you so goddamn much. You're such beautiful people. Sorry, as always, for the Scuff Boomer streams. We're doing this every day, I think, until we get the thing set up.
Xander's dono.
What was Xander's dono?
Xander Hall, just type it in
Just
chat.
type the dono, Xander Hall. Hurry. Xander Hall, hurry. I'm trying to end the goddamn stream. Just don't type it.
Oh, okay.
Angie Speaks is posting about class reductionism like crazy. Yeah, they're mauling.
Yeah, she's like spam posting crazy shit. It was wild.
Yeah, listen. I am too fucking big to waste my time with people who will shit talk me but not even come on to talk with me, okay? Not even in private. If Angie Speaks wanted to talk in private, I'd be totally fine with that.
You did that with that. Oh my god, who was it? Was it one of the black nationalists?
I don't think I can publicly disclose who it was.
Oh. Okay.
I've done this with large people before. If you have an issue with me, I'll talk about it in private. I don't need to make a spectacle out of everything, unless you're a conservative. That shit I make premium off, okay? That shit goes public. Because I'm not going to agree with you on anything in private. But if we're otherwise agreeable and, you know, we have an issue, I'll do a private call. It's fine. I have to wait for the studio to get set up because right now I'm not going to talk on my fucking phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just talk on Discord or something. But the issue is, you didn't talk to Hunter Avalon in private. Hunter Avalon, I think, was a special case. It was quarantine. It had to be quarantine. Yeah, it was quarantine. Okay, and other people too. It's not just quarantine.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
been
person.
multiple
Yeah,
people.
but Do you use Linux? All commies should. Fuck Linux. Fuck you. Suck my dick. Fuck you. Yeah, anyway, it's just really weird. Angie Speaks postured is like this, like big dick, like I'm anti-idpol, I'm anti-woke skull, I'm here, I'm queer, I got my opinions, and fuck you if you don't like them. And then I lightly, like during a stream, I'm like, I think Angie Speaks demonstrates some class reductionist tendencies. And then Angie Speaks, like, for days freaks out, like, and then won't come on to talk. It's just really weird to me. I don't get it. It's like a grift to me. I don't understand. Why would you pose yourself that way? And then Zero Books offered to host you two. I'm not gonna for a debate. Wait, I'm not go- wait. Why would I need? I don't need a moderator for a fucking disagreement.
Oh, you're an abuser.
Thank you, Anarcho Monkey. I really appreciate that. Seems so. I'm not doing a fucking moderator for every Why is everyone such a pussy, dude? I don't fucking ramble over people. Mexi was brave enough to come on here, and I let Mexi go on.
Angie might have not asked. That person might have just offered.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally true. Yeah, it's entirely possible Angie didn't say that.
That person was probably just like, oh, I'd love to host you guys, and she probably didn't say it.
Well, Zero Books is interested in this because Ben Burgess wants to talk to me, and he works with Zero Books, and Douglas Lane works for Zero Books, and Douglas Lane is a massive class reductionist.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did that go, Vosh? The Mexi conversation didn't go poorly because it was unmoderated. The Mexi conversation went poorly because Mexi didn't come in here interested in having a conversation with me. Mexi came in here only interested in regurgitating like a very weird like tell line about how I need to just apologize to people without like without knowing why. Yeah, it was like really strange. Yeah, the Mexicon vow. The only reason I didn't post that is because she asked me to. Because I didn't post it, probably about a quarter of the people who would have otherwise saw it. Hold on. I think you did say you thought Angie was a dumbass even before these Twitter feuds you've been reactive and blunt with these people for. Yeah, because I think Angie's a dumbass. Yeah, I'm super okay with, 100%. Now, I haven't said that about Peter Coffin. I don't think Peter Coffin is a dumbass. But yeah, I do, 100, of course I think that. Also, she called me a freak in response to me saying she was a class reductionist. Like, she's clearly... Yeah, I'm totally okay with saying that. But again, I probably shouldn't be engaging in this, like, relentless, I don't know, this show theater about, like, intro-left disagreement.
You didn't even engage. You literally just said...
I just mentioned people on stream.
Class reductionist tendencies in response to a fucking donation. It's insane. This is not an okay response. Whatever.
Well, I agree it's childish.
I already made my tweets about it.
Yes. But I don't need to engage in the permanent theater. If people want to come on, they can. If not, they can mold forever. Them's the rules. All right. Or they can talk to me in private. I love you all very much. You're all beautiful. I'm sorry for, as always, tearing the left apart. Oh man, this is going to cause a bunch more drama on Twitter.
Whatever.
No, it's not. I've said this before. God, stop being such drama frogs, dude. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I love you all very much. Take care of yourself, folks, and I'll see you all tomorrow.